So this is a Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 and it's already been my daily driver for the past 2 months. And even though it's only been 2 months, this is already one of my favorite devices I've ever had as part of my everyday carry. Honestly, I used to stay away from book style foldables because they used to be really thick and heavy and they were always a nuisance when I had them in my pockets. Plus, the foldables that were thin and light by Chinese OEMs weren't really available where I live here in Korea. So the Z Fold 7 coming out being as thin as a Galaxy S25 Ultra while being lighter basically changed the whole game for me. With such a big screen, I'm actually watching a lot of TV shows and movies while on the train and commuting. I'm reading more articles and ebooks, multitasking, and actually getting some work done thanks to the big screen. And with some accessories, it's actually been a sort of mini laptop or computer for me outside and also at home thanks to Samsung DeX. So for my light productivity and casual days outside, I don't really need an iPad EDC anymore. Now it's really time for my Fold 7 everyday carry. Things have definitely changed a bit since my last EDC video, and now my carry is even lighter and more minimal. But before we get into what's actually in my bag, I just want to mention my favorite case so far for the Fold 7, the Banks Aurora Armor Air Grand Combo. Now, $90 is definitely really steep for a phone case, but out of all the cases I've researched and actually tried on, this is by far the best combination of aesthetics, grip, thinness, and protection that I've tried so far for a foldable. In general, cases for foldables are really iffy and they're hard to find really good ones because they're usually not protective enough, leaving the whole hinge unprotected or the entire front unprotected, or it's the other way, they're too bulky and they defeat the purpose of having a thin foldable anyway. So this one, having a nice soft touch grip, high quality material that doesn't creak, has hinge protection while being so thin, makes this the best case I've used so far. It's also got magnets for MagSafe accessories, which does come in handy later on in the video. I'm sure you can find some other similar cheaper options, so it's definitely worth looking around a bit. But if you're interested in this case or any of the other EDC items I showed throughout this video, feel free to check my description box, all the links will be down there. So let's get to the bag itself, which is the same messenger bag that I showed off in 2024. This is the Arc Messenger bag by Ha Archive. It's a really nice small to medium sized bag that you can wear on your shoulder or crossbody. It is larger than my iPad EDC bag, but I think it's a little more fashionable and looks better and more comfortable for me right now, so I did switch back to it. It's 100% nylon, so you can throw it around everywhere and not worry about it. It's got good high quality zippers that don't get stuck. The bag itself is still light and comfortable on your shoulders even if you have a lot of stuff inside, and you could pack a lot of stuff in here if you really wanted. There is a quick access zip pocket on the front. Inside there's 2 small inner pockets and 1 big internal pocket. The big pocket is actually big enough to fit an iPad or even a MacBook Air, which is really nice, but I don't really need that thanks to the Fold 7. Now this bag doesn't have the most compartments, but it's definitely more than enough, especially if you carry a foldable, since you don't need to carry a tablet or laptop most of the time. And at around $70 to $80, it's a really fair price for a super comfortable bag that's perfect for a light and minimal EDC. Starting off with all the things I put into this bag, this is my portable foldable phone stand. It is foldable, so it fits into my bag really easily. It is magnetic compatible with MagSafe, works perfectly with my Fold 7 Banks case. The angle and height are adjustable, so you don't have to crane your neck down too much. It can rotate 360 degrees, which isn't really necessary for me most of the time, but it is nice that it's there. This thing is fully made of aluminum, which is really durable and sturdy, but don't expect the highest quality materials or anything like that. But it's got the nice touch of having silicone feet, so it keeps it grippy on hard surfaces. The weight distribution is well designed, so this works for both vertical and horizontal orientations. And even though this is fully made of aluminum, it's actually pretty light at only 200 grams, so you won't really feel it in your bag. So yeah, I really like this phone stand, but it is by an unknown brand from a Korean site here. You can probably find something really similar on Amazon or AliExpress, so I'll try to find it and link it down below. And pairing with the stand, I also bring around a foldable Bluetooth keyboard. It's definitely not the best in quality with plastic hardware all around. The keys have a bit of tight spacing to keep things small and portable, but for some light work like email, script writing, and smaller things like that for short periods, I've gotten pretty used to the setup and I actually think it's pretty great. But yeah, after getting used to this, I think it's a really great balance between size and portability. It folds really small and it's not even noticeable in the bag since it's so light. So yeah, this keyboard is a pretty decent one that I only occasionally have to use, and it pairs pretty well with my Fold 7. Now for charging, I don't really bring around a power bank most of the time when I go out in Korea because there are power outlets everywhere I go, including all the cafes, subway stations, and everywhere. So with that in mind, I only bring around a dual port power adapter with 2 USB-C cables. One is a pretty standard one from Samsung, and the other is this really nice looking transparent one by Nothing. And since my Fold 7 is basically my most power hungry device out of my whole EDC, and it only tops out at 25 watts, sadly, so I just need a small portable power adapter that gets me those speeds, so this tops out at 25 watts. In my last EDC video, I only had a power adapter that had one port, but I realized that a dual port power adapter is a better way to go just in case I need to charge two things at the same time, so that's why I also bring around two cables. Now to keep everything organized nice and tidy, I put everything in this Orbit Key pouch. And inside I also carry a Galaxy Smart Tag 2 to track the bag itself. Also in the big pouch is my sunglasses. So I barely have to use these sunglasses, but for those casual sunny days outside, they do come in handy. And in the small inner pockets, I have my extra wallet here, which I've already shown a couple times on this channel. So I'm very card centric, but I do need at least some space for some bills, for traveling, and for emergencies. And there really is a ton of card storage on here while keeping a compact form factor. And the highlight is the eject button to easily pop out all my cards out at once. And the other pocket is just some personal care stuff, including a lip balm, hand sanitizer, and hand cream. So that's basically everything that goes into this big pocket in the bag, but there's also the front pocket. And inside there is where I keep my Nothing Ear too. So this is still my go-to earbuds for listening to music and watching stuff on my Fold 7 and while I'm working. Honestly, the Buds don't have the best battery life anymore, only getting about 2 hours with noise cancelling on. The noise cancellation and sound quality are pretty decent and crispy, but nothing really to blow you away. But even if it's not technically the best earbuds in the market, I still can't get over how nice these look. I love the transparency and blocky design, and the pinch controls are still the most intuitive in the market. Plus, the Nothing Companion app is by far the best companion app I've used for Bluetooth earbuds. Now, I wasn't a huge fan of the Nothing Phone 3, and I don't know what direction they're going for their phones, but in terms of their audio products, I really trust Nothing. And I'm probably going to upgrade to the Nothing Ear 3 when those come out. So that's basically everything I carry on me and in my bag. Very simple and minimal, even less than I used to carry. Then back at home, I've actually been trying out Samsung DeX. I'm just using it with the simple monitor, keyboard, and mouse combo. Now it's definitely not my main computer at home since I do have a Mac Mini, but I am planning on challenging myself to only use DeX for a while and see if this Fold 7 can be my true only computer at home too. So if you're interested in that video and my whole Samsung DeX setup, make sure to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for that video. So yeah, that's it for my Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 everyday carry. Honestly, a really minimal setup that doesn't involve too much things. And again, thanks to the Fold 7, I carry even less in my EDC because it's basically my tablet and my mini laptop. So for my casual outings, I have even less of a need to carry a separate laptop or even an iPad. For light productivity when I'm out at cafes or workspaces, this is by far the most optimal setup for me, especially since I can also switch this over to my entertainment apps or games at any time. Like I said, all the links to all the stuff I showed throughout this video will be down below. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought about my Fold 7 EDC, and feel free to share if you have something similar or better. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.